Hello everyone, welcome back to Nirja Education. Before we start a new topic, I would like to tell you that if you haven't gone through my previous video of this chapter, that is part 1, then please go through it, then only you can get the connectivity. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about different types of diseases, prevention of diseases, vaccination and antibiotic. So now let's start this session. So first topic is types of diseases. So first, what is disease? It is a condition in which our body functions abnormally. Most of the diseases are caused by microorganisms. So mainly there are 4 types of diseases. Which are they? So first, infectious disease or communicable diseases. Second is non-infectious disease or non-communicable diseases. Third is deficiency diseases. And the fourth one is allergic disease. So now we will discuss all of them one by one. So first is infectious disease or communicable disease. Dear children, you might have noticed that if any one member of the family has cold, soon the others also catch it. So that is the infectious disease. Yes, the infectious disease are the disease which can be spread from one person to the other. What are the examples of infectious disease? So TB, it means tuberculosis, rabies, measles and influenza. These all are the infectious diseases. Now second is non-infectious or non-communicable diseases. These type of diseases are not spread from one person to the another. These type of diseases are caused by poor eating habits and lack of some nutrients in our diet. The examples of non-communicable disease or non-infectious disease are diabetes, heart diseases, Alzheimer and stroke. So third is deficiency disease. So what is the meaning of deficiency? Deficiency means lack or shortage. A diet that is not a balanced diet and lacks some of the nutrients, it leads to the deficiency disease. So what are the examples of deficiency disease? So night blindness, this is caused by the deficiency of vitamin A. Then anemia and beriberi, this is caused by the deficiency of vitamin B. Next, scurvy, it is caused by the deficiency of vitamin C. Rickets, it is caused by the deficiency of vitamin D. And some of the diseases like anemia, it causes due to the deficiency of iron. Then goiter, it causes due to the deficiency of iodine. And osteoporosis, it causes due to the deficiency of calcium. So these type of diseases, they are not spread from one person to the other. However, it may happen that many people suffer from this disease at the same time. For example, the people living in mountainous region, they suffer from goiter due to the lack of iodine in the water which they drink. So these can be prevented by the proper diet and by the consumption of iodine. Next is allergic diseases. So what is the meaning of allergy? So allergy means an unfavorable reaction in our body that occurs due to a substance like pollen, dust, fur, food or some chemicals. Some of the people, they are allergic to dust or pollen present in the air. Some of the peoples, they are allergic to the eatables like groundnut or egg, and some of the people, they are allergic to the cosmetics, right? So what are the examples of allergic reactions? So asthma and hay fever, these are the examples of allergic reactions. The most common symptoms of allergic reactions are red eyes, itchy rash, runny nose, swelling, breathing problem, sneezing. These all are the symptoms of allergic reactions. Next topic is prevention of diseases. In this we will see how we can prevent the disease. So first point is infected or sick person should be kept isolated. Means the infected person should be kept isolated. They should remain alone, right? The next is the things which belongs to infected person should be kept separately. The whatever things which belongs to an infected person should be kept separately. Third one is the clothes and the other belongings of the infected person should be washed and boiled to kill the microorganisms. It means the clothes or other belongings of the infected person should be washed or boiled properly, so that by this we can kill the microorganisms. The next is when the patient recovers, overall surroundings including clothes, beddings, curtains, utensils and other belongings should be disinfectants. So the things which belongs to the infected person or the sick person should be disinfectant. So what is disinfectant? So it is a chemical substance which is used for the killing of microorganisms or germs. Then next is a person should stay at home if they haven't fully recovered. So if a person is not fully recovered, so at that time they should remain at home only. When they are fully recovered, at that time they can come out of their houses. So now we will discuss about preventing breeding and growth of microorganisms or germs. So now let's see. So first, houses should be kept well ventilated with plenty of sunlight. Then next is toilets and bathrooms should be washed regularly with disinfectants. Next, rooms should have door and windows with wire netting to prevent insects from entering. Then next is clothes and bedding should be exposed to sunlight periodically. Food and water should be kept covered in a clean vessel. Why food and water should be kept covered? Because food and water, it promotes the growth of microorganisms. Some of the substances are present in food and water which promotes the growth of microorganisms, as microorganisms can also be found in food and water. So we should take care of that. The next is dustbins should be covered and surroundings should be kept clean. Most of the microorganisms, they breed very nicely in the area where there is lots of dirt or garbage, or where they can find the appropriate atmosphere, right? Dear children, we all know that when we were small, at that time our parents took us to the doctors for vaccination. So what is vaccination? It is also a prevention method for diseases. So now let's see what is vaccination. So vaccination is a method of protecting our body against disease even if the germs or microorganisms enter in our body. Then, vaccination means a method in which a doctor gives us a particular vaccine for a particular disease, right? So in that vaccine there is something which protects us from the disease. The vaccine is swallowed or injected into the body. The body produces a substance which can destroy the weakened germs. So when the doctor gave us the vaccine, at that time our body produces a substance which helps to destroy the microorganisms or the germs which is responsible for that disease. The substance then remains in the blood and guards the body against the future attack by disease germs. So that substance which is produced by our body, it remains inside our blood and it protects us from the future attack of those particular type of germs or microorganisms. The body is then said to have immunity against that disease. So when our body is vaccinated, at that time we can say that we are having the immunity to fight against the disease. The next, it is especially important for children to be vaccinated against various diseases. The next is, it is especially important for children to be vaccinated against various diseases. So why it is important for children to be vaccinated? Because the immunity of the children are very much low. So they cannot fight against the disease as the adults can do. There are different vaccines available for different diseases like measles, mumps, rabies, polio, tuberculosis, hepatitis B. Many vaccines are available in the market. So vaccination is a mandatory process. When you are in your childhood age, at that time you have to take the different type of vaccines for different diseases. Even the government is providing the facility for vaccinations in very low prices, even sometimes free of charge. So you should grab this opportunity, and there should be awareness in you for the diseases. So next topic is antibiotics. So what is antibiotics? It is a medicine or drug that inhibits the growth of or destroys the microorganisms. The word antibiotics itself tells us that it is something which works or which acts against the living form, right? Here the living form is nothing but the microorganisms. Then several diseases can be treated by drugs called antibiotics. Several diseases can be cured. It kills germs in the blood without affecting the body cells. Antibiotic kills the germs without affecting our body or body cells. Antibiotics do not work against viruses. Antibiotics, they cannot work against viruses. Very few drugs work against viruses. That is why there is no cure for the most common disease caused by viruses, that is the common cold. So here this chapter ends. I hope that you all understand these terms and the basic concepts of this chapter. So now let's have a quick recap of whatever the things which we learned today. First, we learn about different types of diseases and their examples. After that, we learn about the prevention of diseases. Then we learn preventing breeding or the growth of microorganisms. After that, we learn about vaccination and then antibiotics. So, I hope that this chapter will be very much useful in your life and you can apply whatever the things you learn in this video. I hope that you all like this video. So please like, share and comment. And don't forget to subscribe our channel and to press the bell icon. Thank you.